A sanctuary. Introducing the all-new Atheris, with whisper-quiet cabin technology and an interior designed around you. It's not just about getting to your destination, it's about arriving inspired. Atheris. Move beautifully. You don't just want a car, you want a sanctuary. The problem is, most beginners skip the boring part. They want to jump straight into a cute project, and they end up trying to learn a stitch pattern and hold their yarn correctly and count stitches all at the same time. That's just too much at once. It's like trying to learn how to drive by getting straight onto a busy highway instead of practicing in an empty parking lot first. So here's what we're going to do instead. We're going to slow it down and go step by step, the way it should have been taught to you from the start. First thing, let's talk about what you actually need to get started. You do not need a huge yarn stash or a fancy hook set. Honestly, all you need is one hook and one ball of yarn. For your hook, go with a size 5.0 millimeter or 5.5 millimeter. This is usually labeled as an H or I hook if you're looking at US sizing. This size is big enough to see your stitches clearly, but not so big that the yarn slips around everywhere. For your yarn, grab a medium weight yarn, sometimes labeled as worsted weight or category 4. And here's a tip that almost nobody tells beginners. Choose a light color, like cream, light gray, or pale yellow. Avoid black, dark blue, or anything with a fuzzy texture. Why? Because with dark or fuzzy yarn, it's really hard to see your individual stitches. And when you can't see your stitches clearly, you can't learn from your mistakes. A smooth, light-colored yarn will make this whole process so much easier.
Colored yarn will make this whole process so much easier. Now let's talk about how to actually hold the hook and yarn, because this trips up a lot of people. There's no one correct way to hold your hook. Some people hold it like a pencil, with their fingers close to the tip. Other people hold it like a knife, with their whole hand wrapped around it from above. Try both ways and see which one feels more natural in your hand. There's no wrong answer here, so don't stress about it. For your yarn, you want to create some tension so the yarn doesn't just flop around loosely. A simple way to do this is to wrap the yarn around your pinky finger, then bring it across your palm and let it rest over your pointer finger. This gives you control over how tight or loose your stitches are, which matters a lot once you start actually crocheting. Okay, now here comes the first real skill, and it's called the slip knot. This is how every single crochet project begins, no matter what you're making. You make a loop with your yarn, pull a bit of yarn through that loop, and tighten it onto your hook. It's the same knot you'd use to start tying your shoe, just applied to yarn and a hook instead. Once you have that slip knot on your hook, you're ready for the next step. That next step is called the foundation chain, and this is honestly the stitch that trips up the most beginners, so let's slow way down here. To make a chain stitch, you wrap the yarn over your hook and pull it through the loop that's already on your hook. That's it. That's one chain stitch. Now you do that again and again. Each time you're just wrapping the yarn over and pulling it through the loop on your hook. Here's the #1 mistake beginners make with chains, and it's the reason so many people think they're bad at crochet, when really they just don't know this one trick. They pull their chains way too tight. When your chains are too tight, it becomes almost impossible to get your hook back into them for the next row, and that's when people get frustrated and give up. So as you're making your chain, try to keep them loose and relaxed. If you can wiggle your hook around inside each chain stitch without much resistance, you're doing it right. If your hook barely fits, loosen up your tension a little.
Called worsted weight, sometimes labeled as a size 4 on the yarn label. It's a medium thickness yarn, not too thin, not too thick. Thin yarn is harder to see your stitches in when you're learning, and it takes forever to make anything, which kills your motivation fast. Thick yarn works up quick, which feels great for a beginner, but it can be harder to control at first. Worsted weight is the sweet spot. Also, pick a light color. I know the deep red or the black yarn looks nice, but when you're learning, you need to actually see each stitch clearly, and dark colors hide your stitches in shadow. Go with something like a light gray, a cream, or a soft yellow. For the hook, get a size H or I, which is about 5 to 5.5 millimeters. This pairs perfectly with worsted weight yarn, and it's a comfortable size to hold. You don't need a fancy ergonomic hook when you're starting out, just get a basic one. They're usually only a couple dollars. Now, here's something that trips people up constantly, and it's not even about the stitches, it's about how you hold everything. There is no single correct way to hold a hook or your yarn. I want you to hear that clearly because a lot of beginners see someone online holding their hook like a pencil, try to copy that exactly, and get frustrated when it feels awkward. Some people hold the hook like a pencil. Some hold it like a knife, kind of gripped in their fist. Both are completely fine. Try both for a few minutes each and just notice which one feels more natural in your hand. Your yarn tension, meaning how the yarn flows through your other hand, matters way more than how you're gripping the hook. If your yarn is too loose, your stitches will be sloppy and uneven. If it's too tight, your hand will cramp up and it'll be hard to get the hook through the loops. A common way to control tension is wrapping the yarn once around your pinky finger, then over your palm. Go ahead and practice making a chain of about 20 stitches. Don't worry about counting perfectly right now. Just get comfortable with the motion. Wrap, pull through, wrap, pull through. This might feel clumsy for the first few minutes, and that is completely normal. Give yourself permission to be bad at this for a little while. Every single person who crochets beautifully today once made wobbly, uneven chains just like you're about to make. Now that you've got some practice with chains, let's move on to the stitch that's going to unlock basically everything else, and that's the single crochet stitch. Here's how it works. You take your chain of 20 stitches and you skip the very first chain from your hook. Insert your hook into the second chain from your hook. You'll see 2 loops now on your hook. Now wrap the yarn over and pull it through just that first loop, which is the one closest to the hook tip. Now you have 2 loops on your hook again, but this time they're both regular loops, not chain stitches. Wrap the yarn over one more time and pull it through both of those loops at once, and that's it. You've just made one single crochet stitch. Repeat that same process into the next chain and the next, all the way across your row. Insert hook, wrap and pull through one loop, wrap and pull through both loops. Insert hook, wrap and pull through one loop, wrap and pull through both loops. Once you get to the end of your row, you'll have a small row of single crochet stitches sitting there. Now, here's where the magic really starts to click for most people, and that's when you begin your second row. To start a new row, you make one chain stitch, and this is called a turning chain. Then you turn your work around so you're now facing the other side. Insert your hook into the very first stitch, which is easy to spot because it's the one right under your turning chain, and repeat the exact same single crochet process across. Going for a few more rows. Chain 1, turn, single crochet all the way across. Chain 1, turn, single crochet all the way across. As you do this, you'll start to see a little square of fabric forming, made entirely out of tiny connected loops. That right there, that small swatch you just made with your own hands, using nothing but a hook and some string, that's the moment it clicks for most people. That's the moment crochet stops feeling like a mystery and starts feeling like something you can actually do. Now let's talk about a few common problems you're probably going to run into, because knowing about these ahead of time will save you so much frustration. Problem 1. Your rows keep getting wider or narrower as you go. This almost always means you're either adding stitches by accident or skipping stitches by accident. The fix is simple. Always count your stitches at the end of each row. If you started with 10 stitches, you should still have 10 stitches at the end of every single row. If the number changes, go back and figure out where you gained or lost a stitch. This is normal. Every beginner does this, and it just takes practice to catch it. Problem 2. You can't find where to insert your hook for the next stitch. This usually happens because your stitches are too tight, which makes them hard to see and hard to work into. If this keeps happening to you, consciously try to crochet a little looser. Some people even size up their hook while they're first learning just to make things easier to see and work with. The Atheris Sedan. With whisper quiet cabin technology and an interior designed around you, it's not just about getting to your destination, it's about arriving inspired. Atheris, move beautifully. You don't just want a car. You want a sanctuary. Introducing